Well, good morning. So today I have Aditya with us, who is the Senior Communications Director with deep expertise in the tech sector. He is the former reporter for 12 years with ABC News and the BBC. So he's had a lot of experience hosting a lot of news, has experience regarding whatever's going on in the world. So if you want to speak to someone who definitely knows the ins and outs of what's going on in the world, you might want to reach out to him. Let's welcome Aditya on 10 Minutes of Hiding Wisdom, where he will tell us about where he's currently working, what he's doing, and what he has learned so far on this journey. Hi, Aditya. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Manal. How are you?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for joining us, Aditya. So, Aditya, can you tell us about where you're currently working, what your position is with the company?
Sure. I work for ShieldAI, which is a tech firm based in San Diego, but with offices all over the US. We're unique within the tech space because we focus on national security using the power of AI to help protect the lives of military personnel and civilians in active conflict zones. And
Okay.
that's very important to note because, in terms of my background, what's always excited me about different opportunities is whether or not the entity in question had a societal benefit component to it. And I'm very fortunate to say that at Shield AI, that is certainly the case.
Okay. And what do you do within the company, Aditya?
Great. So I am the head of communications for Shield AI. Communicate with journalists, interact with reporters and editors throughout the world. I also engage with the U.S. government and public affairs capacity. Also work on internal communications within the company, which is um, especially important given the fact that the company has grown quite a lot in the last few years, especially. Just the other day, we had our Series D round, which made
Congratulations.
us, thank you, which made us a unicorn, which I know in terms of tech companies, being a unicorn is not necessarily um, uh, as eye opening as it once was. Um, but within the nascent defense tech space, of which Shield AI is part of, there are only a handful that have reached that milestone. I was especially proud of all the hard work that my teammates, led by our co-founders, had done in order to achieve that.
That sounds amazing, and congratulations on becoming listed as a unicorn company. It is, as in, like, I think it's still a very big deal, and considering you're making an impact by providing security to people in the military and everything, it's definitely a great purpose. And Aditya, I'm just curious, how did you come across Shield AI? Like, how did you end up here? How was the process like for you?
That's a great question. It won't be surprising for you or for your listeners uh, to to learn that in the tech industry, especially, a lot of it has to do with networking and who do you know at a certain company, or do you know someone who knows someone at that company? Especially now in the time of COVID, where uh, the opportunity to just grab a coffee with a complete stranger is not necessarily possible. It's about reaching out to your network um, and really talking to the people who you think share your values and your mindset and know about your goals and objectives, short term and long term, when it comes to your career as well as your values. And that's what I did. Through that process, I was able to speak with someone who knew the co-founders at Shield, and here I am.
Well, it worked out for you, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us would find this useful because I think a lot of us are scared specifically just to reach out. But then again, considering people like you who are successful, who are doing well in their career, it definitely means a lot. And Aditya, I'm just curious. So you're working at Shield AI, and the company is definitely growing. What are some things that you look in people who are applying for jobs within Shield AI? Like, what are the personality traits? Like, of course, there are hard skills that are required by certain jobs, but when it comes to like personality traits, what are something that you look for people?
Speaking broadly, about the company, we're looking first and foremost for people who share our values, and our values are featured prominently on our website, and we're very proud of our values. And more importantly, we're very proud of the fact that the people who work for Shield adhere to those values. Um, and some of the values are pretty standard across the board, but there are others that are sort of more germane to our culture. But they're all centered around honesty, decency, treating people with kindness, and you know, doing your job to the best possible means, and also acting with integrity at all times. There are a host of other values, but those are the key ones that I think um, are most likely to resonate with your audience.
Your company definitely sounds like an amazing place, specifically because I think so many companies specifically focus on innovation and everything, but yours specifically focuses on treating people with kindness, which is something that's amazing at the end of the day, because we're human at the end of the day and we want to be treated with respect and kindness, which is something that's very important. So thank you for sharing that. And Aditya, the most important question would definitely be, is your company hiring? What kind of positions are open, and across what boards?
Thank you. That's a great question. Yes, we are hiring. We're prioritizing hiring engineers, machine learning specialists, AI specialists, hardware focused, software focused, you name it. All the jobs are posted on the ShieldAI website. Just look for the careers link and you'll see a long list of jobs. Um, Interested candidates should also reach out to me if they're interested in working for the company but don't necessarily see something that is an exact fit, because we also uh, uh, you know we also make the time and effort to do informal interviews with people to get them know but to get them to get to know them a little bit better, and hold on to their resumes for future possibilities that might be coming down the road.
I love how considerate you guys are, specifically because I think you definitely embody and reflect the values of your organization, just because the way of your work that you're doing, how you treat people with kindness, and how you interview them informally. Because a lot of people don't have time, but considering I'm pretty sure you don't have time either, but you're making time, which is something that's really nice of you guys. And
Thank you.
the
And
last,
if I may,
sorry, go ahead.
if I may, this is the values that I hope that I'm exhibiting are ones that are that come directly from our co-founders. They are obviously incredibly busy, 24/7. We recently acquired two companies and did a Series D, all within a few weeks of each other. So you
Wow.
can imagine how the summer was very busy for them. And the key point is that they make the time to do interviews, to get to know people, and so certainly all the people who work at the company should do the same. Um, and it's also a matter of luck, right? Um, I'm very lucky to have this position, and I know there are a lot of other people who could do the job better than I could, and I don't lose sight of that. This acknowledgement that I have, that sense of self awareness. Um, and as a result, I'm always on the lookout for people who can really, who people who I could personally learn from and improve based upon their experiences.
Wow, that humbleness, that growth, Aditya, it's definitely something that's very admirable. But thank you so much for sharing so much about your insights, about your journey, and about you how you ended up at Shield AI. It was definitely a pleasure having you as a guest. We usually like to keep things short, which is why our time is up. But thank you so much for coming on as a guest.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Of course.